So as soon as we get started, we are going to start a 30-second countdown as well. As soon as it is over, we're going to come back, introduce the show, and we will go from there.
Okay.
Scroll down. Give me 1 second. Go to banners.
Nope.
No, brand. One second, please. Sorry, guys. We're going to get started shortly. All right. Just give me 1 second.
There's no 30-second countdown.
There is, but I don't know which one it is. My dad's on the right one. He's on the wrong one. That's why. We're not on the right one. Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, March 12th, 2024. Welcome to the Dani Perro Show here in Hamilton Radio. We are in our home studio tonight. Thank you so much, Ashley, for joining us. We're very excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so I want to get a little bit started, obviously, with you and your career. I know previously with your biography and everything that Michael actually sent over to us, you previously have been you started out at a young age with some singing competitions, and you got a feel for, give me a little more idea. You got a feel for the music, you wanted to sing. It was something that you liked doing.
For sure. I mean, music for me, I sang my first song at the age of 5. So from there, music to me was just always everything from a pastime to something that just made me feel good. And the older I got through high school, I started a band. And from there, I think that's really when I knew I wanted to do it for real.
Okay.
It was just something that never disappeared. It was something I couldn't get away from. It was always in my life. It was always really apparent. So I always thought I was one of those lucky ones.
Well, we want to talk about when you were younger and you had gotten into some musical competitions or anything like that. Was it anything where you feel like the musician bug bit you when you were younger? You like music so much you wanted to sing it, you wanted to be a part of it. But do you feel like it was something that maybe at a young age it started versus to where you are now?
Absolutely. When I did a lot of competitions growing up, I think a lot of it was reinforcement that kind of told me, yes, you're in the right place. So, it was everything from my parents, my family members, even the audience. I've always had, even from a younger age growing up, I've always had really strong reactions from the audience.
Okay.
From judges. Even if it wasn't a competition that I won, I always had really positive feedback. So I think that was a big thing that kind of pushed me along the way, especially in an industry that could be kind of cruel at times. I think it helped kind of set the stage for what I was looking to accomplish. And when I was looking around, hey, it's not just me that really enjoys this. Everyone enjoys listening to me. Everyone enjoys what I'm writing about. And that was really touching. That was a big part of it.
So let's talk about a little bit when you were younger, and maybe a little bit more, because I'm sure your inspirations are different now, or maybe they might be the same. But when you were younger, what type of genre did you want to continue singing? Did you like the most versus to where you are now?
It was all the same. So I was always a country girl growing up.
Yeah.
So when I mentioned at 5 years old, I sang my first song. That song was from the Dixie Chicks back then. The Chicks now. And I think I lost you here. Hold on a second.
No, it's okay. I was gonna say she's giving us a tour of her room.
So yeah. So yeah, I'm actually from my home studio too, and so this is where all the behind the scenes stuff gets done here, which is where all the fun lighting comes in.
Okay.
But so anyway, so yeah, my first song that I ever sang was from the Dixie Chicks. It was called "You Were Mine," and that's when I was 5 years old. And my mom will tell the story, and I still laugh about it. I was singing into my little Dirt Devil toy sweeper, and to this day, fast forward, I'm 32 now, so fast forward that time frame, and I'm still singing that song. So
Okay.
it's still one
Something
of
that you
my.
would-
What was that?
It was something that you loved it, like a song that spoke to you when you were younger, to kind of where you are now, where it still feels like it speaks to you in a certain way that you want to continue performing it.
Yeah, and it's funny you say it that way. Yeah, to be honest with you, back then I'm not sure what I loved. Was it the melody, or I can tell you it was my favorite song from them. Now, just through life and through love and experiencing, a lot of different things. You're right. It holds a completely different place in my heart, but it's still one of my favorites today.
Definitely. And I want to definitely say, when you get an opportunity to sing, whether you're little or a singing competition, which is, I'm sure, was like incredibly fun and probably very like competitive type of thing too, right? When you were younger, you
Hmm.
get the opportunity to sing in front of like crowds and different people that don't know who you are, whether you want to be a musician or you don't know what you want to do next. You might have just been doing it for fun and didn't know that you wanted to be like a singer right off the bat after that. So I feel like you get the opportunity to test yourself. How amazing can I be? Can I teach? Can I show people this is what I want to do? This is why my heart is in this, at a competition. And even when you're younger, you have different, skills and things you can use in your music type or quality that you choose to sing. And I think it's so fun because you can even do it, still to this day. But, being a musician is 100% different.
Right. No, you're 100% right. I mean, there was a lot of times during those competitions, being younger, my goal, I always wanted to win, right? Like that was always my thing.
Oh,
I
of
want to win
course.
this
So you were
competition.
competitive.
And
Okay.
so of
I
course I was.
I was curious if you were, because obviously I'm getting to know you. You don't seem like that type. But again, this is when you were younger. You're 100% mature, I'm sure, different or whatever. But it's more the fact that, like, yeah, I'm sure there was like money situation or whatever part of, the competition, but it was maybe more the exposure. I don't know if you got like a record deal or anything out of it too, depending on what you performed for or the people that you performed with, so it just depends. Every competition is different.
Yeah, and I've done all kinds. So we did some for money. We did do competitions to where you could record in the studio,
Okay.
win a song or so. So there was always, and I think even today there's always in the backbone. I am a competitive person, but as I as I got older, it was a little bit more toward, learning that music is so objective. So if you have a panel of four judges, they're not always going to be, Ashley is the one that I think wins this contest. And I started to learn to be okay with that because I knew as I grew up that, as long as I'm doing what I can, to get my music out there,
Mm-hmm.
I feel good doing it. I have people that still stand by me and I can still sing a song and have somebody in the crowd and bring them, joy or tears to their eyes, depending on the song that I'm singing. I still know in my heart I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So losing, nobody wants to say it's losing, but at the time, or as the time went on, rather, a loss to me in a competition was really just, like you said, it was a moment to showcase. It was a moment to gain
Yeah, the
another couple
exposure for
fans
sure.
or
Mhm.
exposure. And it just became fun at that point. I still secretly, I always want to win. I want to win. But yeah, it became more of a, somebody else needs a shot at winning. I knew how it felt. And, maybe this is just their time to shine. So
Okay, that's nice to see it on both sides, which is actually very sweet and considerate of you as an artist, because other people for competitions, whether you're competitive or aren't competitive, you're always in it to win. And regardless of that, with the exposure or anything too, you're saying on your end that you see it as it's not your time, but you had the exposure. But the person that was meant to win is going to be the person that wins because, you see the opposite side of it. You see the considerate side of you. And I think that's actually really beautiful as an artist. Just because it shows the type of person you are. A country hometown girl is what you are.
I appreciate that.
Now, born and raised in your northern part of Philadelphia?
Pittsburgh, East Pittsburgh.
Okay, so you're about, I think we said like 3 or 4 hours away, probably 4.5 hours away from me in general. I'm in New Jersey.
Okay.
So probably something like that. And depending on that and kind of the feel and, the feel of being an artist and open mics and stuff, do you also get the opportunity to still go out and do open mics? I mean, I'm sure you still have gigs, that you're still performing and stuff, but do you look into open mics still to this day? Or was that something more also for fun that you did when you were younger?
Yeah, so I haven't done open mic in a while, but I'll be honest, I'm still a karaoke junkie.
Of course. So, I mean, who could never do an amazing, who couldn't do karaoke? If it's like a great song, anything, off the top of your head or whatever you want to do, and it's karaoke and, like a bar or whatever, it's the best. It's the most amazing combination ever. And it shows off your skills. Nobody knows you're a musician until you're up there singing,
Yeah, I mean, that was always for me. It's fun. I mean, it was also a way to keep my vocals going and just keep music alive for a while in between shows. So, I don't do the open mics as often, but I'll still do a lot of karaoke still.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the inspirations for your music, for like the certain music that you put out there to the world that you want everyone to hear you as an artist. Who do you kind of look up to, whether you had started when you were younger to where you are now?
Yeah, and it's kind of became, it's been the same. It kind of evolved, but, growing up, it was always artists like Reba McEntire, Shania Twain, Jody Messina, Leanne Womack, Leanne Rhymes, and still to this day, they're about the same. I mean, now I have a few new artists that, Miranda Lambert is a big one for me now.
Oh, yes.
Just watching her career, where she started and how... I just love them all. I love all her music, and a lot of my cover songs I love doing. Tin Man is one of my favorites right now. Wow. Tequila Does, similar to my tequila, so I think there was a thing there. But it's but right now, even Carrie Underwood. I mean, look what them two girls did with their careers, how they started and what they made of themselves.
So where they start, like, even if it was a singing competition, because I think that's how Carrie Underwood started. I think, was she on American Idol, if I'm not mistaken? So, singing competition can really, push your brand out there, because you never know who's seeing you, what exposure you're getting, who's contacting you, who's your mix manager, who you get transferred next to, collaborations, contributors, things like that. And people reaching out to you. So you're 100% right about that. But also look at her as a musician, right? If you think of other musicians that are out there, everybody has their own type of genre. They all put their love and their heart in their music, which makes it themselves. And obviously nobody's going to take that from them because it's, it's their music. It's how they put, you change it up on your way when you do their covers. You put your own spin on it, twist on it. And I think as a musician, being for Carrie Underwood, if you listen to some of her music, whether it's the gospel part or just something like Jesus Take the Wheel, you can see her whole change from when she was younger to where she is now. Whether her voice completely, I want to say empowered, but more of like a huge, change in her music and type of, lyrics and everything like that too. There's always amazing hits that are constantly coming out on the country that you're sure of, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, and speaking of her too, I mean,
cover of,
Oh yeah, and with Carrie too. I mean, I play a little guitar, but man, she rocks the guitars. She has the drums now, so I mean, anyone that can go up there and she's like a one-man band up there. So
yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, she's a huge inspiration, I'm sure, in the country industry, because you're just getting a feel for what you want to do. I mean, I know we talked about a little bit in the beginning where you had said that country is what you love to do because you grew up with it. Did you ever grow up with different types of music besides country, like any pop, R&B that you wanted to mix into the country music, or just the pure country scene?
So not so much when I was younger, but the older I got, I started to, especially around the Pittsburgh scene, the music here is so diverse. So
Yes,
depending on
it
your
is.
mood, I mean, you can really find anything when you want to go out and say, hey, I'm in a jazz mood, or I'm in a blues mood, or I want to go hear some rock and
Oh,
roll. Um, so I did become pretty open to listening.
okay.
In terms of singing, I'll dabble with a little Pink here and there, or I do have a song I like to do from Erica Badu.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a few different ones that
Like
I
to
like
like
to change it up.
travel with. Yeah.
Hmm. But yeah, as far as my roots, my real, I mean, I don't foresee myself going out and trying to do a pop album or an R&B album. But yes, absolutely. I mean, I am all for collaborations. I love the way that has taken over right now with the music industry. Um,
It's very quick how somebody could reach out to you too.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is just amazing, just getting people open to different types of music. Just, one collaboration might open the door to, somebody just saying, hey, I never listened to country before, or vice versa. I've never listened to rock,
Someone
R&B
in
before, but
yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I was
So
gonna
I
say
like how it's bridging the gaps.
we have somebody, if you could see the comments as well below, we have actually somebody that also kind of asked a little bit similar to my question, but they put a spin on it. What do you feel like something that you do want to look for inspiration? Ashley? Ashley, can you hear me? Ashley, can you hear me? Your mic cut out. Ashley? I think we're having a couple difficulties, guys. Just stay tuned with us. Ash, do you want to try exiting the room and coming back? Did it freeze on your end? I don't know what happened. I can't hear you. Can you click your audio? Let me see. Ashley, can you click your volume button and talk again for me?
We had to change it. It's not their fault, but it's what happens.
Ashley? Guys, just give us a couple of minutes. Should I do Ashley?
Chris, there's nothing that we're doing on her end. It's only on her end.
Ashley, can you hear me?
Right. And she can't hear her because she doesn't. Audio's not working.
Sorry, guys, we're having a couple audio malfunction situation. I don't know if I should try to do a 30-second countdown again to give her time.
You got to be off before 8:00, man.
Okay, guys. So she's gonna come back shortly on video. We're just waiting for her. Let me take a look and see. We're just gonna wait for her to come back in the video. Just give us a couple minutes. Sorry, guys. She's gonna quickly come back. I think we had an audio issue for everybody that tuned in. So we're just gonna add her back into the state. Perfect. Ashley?
I hear you. I hear you now.
What the heck happened?
I don't even know. All of a sudden, I couldn't hear you. I'm like, hi, can you hear me?
No, that's good. I probably might forget my question now, but it was similar to the person about that was asking for your inspiration.
Oh yeah. So yeah, my inspirations they pretty much have changed the same or stayed the same. It's still right now, like I said, I'm heavy on focusing on Miranda's career. I'm really positive because of the way it took her from her her earlier albums and Kerosene to where she is now. And I mean, how much time that took before she's really in the spotlight. So even people like, I don't think we didn't talk about Lainey Wilson yet, but she's
No.
another one.
So okay, you like Lainey?
Just
what do you
look at
think
her.
about her music? Like as a musician, is it like you want to sing her covers? Do you like her as an artist? Is she somebody that you might want to perform with later down the line?
All the above. I mean, she has that small town country girl charm. I think she'd be fun to go out and have a drink with. I think she's probably a pretty down to earth person,
Oh,
from what
definitely.
it seems.
Mhm.
Her music, though, I love her sound. She's very unique. You know, if a new song on the radio comes out, you know if it's hers, you know it's her. And I love that about artists because there's not too many out there that can put on a new song. You're like, oh, who's this? You know, it's like, oh no, you don't have to ask. That's Lainey. You know, it's
Exactly.
just
And I feel like her songs are super catchy.
they
Where
are. They
it's like,
really are.
obviously, as a musician, I'm sure you know this in general, but your hook always needs to be the most catchiest thing, so it gets stuck in all of our heads. And you
Hmm.
get the EP downloads and the album purchases and everything like that as well. Being a musician, though, putting your heart and soul in the music, you want to actually make sure the listeners can feel it. And I feel like with Lainey Wilson, when you do listen to her music, especially with Kane Brown, who I also love, country artists as well, they put so much heart, soul, love, like their thought in the song that, like, if they messed up live, you wouldn't even know it.
Right.
You love them so much that it doesn't even matter that they would physically, like understand, like they mess up on stage, you're listening to their song, you wouldn't care that they messed up. You would sing along to them thinking that that's the type of musician, as what we listen to, what we like to hear, and different types, where I feel like you don't get the opportunity as a country musician nowadays to hear a lot of great, amazing music, because obviously the industry, is definitely where they want the certain type of what they want as a country musician. And a
Hmm.
lot of independent artists, as yourself, we're trying to get you up there. We want you on the Billboard charts. We want you performing with Jelly Roll, type of thing like that. So the opportunity is, as long as you stay yourself and you write your own music and that your music means the world to you and it shows, like shines through you, you're going to go really far in life.
Yeah, I mean I try to live by that. You know, it's hard
Yeah.
sometimes, but but yeah, no, I appreciate that, and that's really what I try to do because at the end of the day, it's not really doing something you love if you're not loving how it's turning out. So, um,
Definitely.
and that's why I like her. We were talking earlier about um, being the one in the spotlight, being the winner. And if you've seen how she accepts certain awards, like CMT awards, CMAs or whatnot,
Yeah.
she's so thankful, and it's so beautiful to see her win. And
And they also have a speech like that on spot.
uh-huh.
They know exactly what they want to say, who they want to thank, who the first person they want to thank, God for sure.
Of
And
course.
it's super easy for them to like come up with something of like 2-second mark. Just being a nominee. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how they do. Some of them they have just such perfect speeches. When I
We
go
have to
up,
get
I'm
we
just
have to get you in that set of mindset. So then that means maybe you can accept your first CMT, your
yeah.
CMA,
Yeah,
and
I don't know what
get
I'd
ready
have to
for your
practice day and
speech.
night for that.
Exactly. And get ready for your speech and exactly know what you want to say and who you want to thank immediately. That's something you need to start thinking of, because you never know what's going to happen. Even after this
Yeah.
interview, you don't know who's tuning in and watching.
No,
You don't
I've
know how you
accepted.
might have, I know you already get a chance to go to Nashville and everything like that too, but you never know if somebody reaches out to you and is like, hey, I need you to do this gig in Nashville next week. Are you free?
Here
And
I
then your life
am.
changes like that.
Yeah. No, I've accepted one award, and I think when I was saying all my thank yous and everything, I was on autopilot. I'm not even sure. I think it was my subconscious mind just speaking for me. And when I was walking off the stage, I'm like, huh, that sounded all right, actually.
Good. Well,
But
that's
I
nice.
felt
At
like it
least it
wasn't
made
even
sense.
me.
That's a bonus. You definitely want it to make sense. Real quick, I want to get to Chris's question. I'm going to get to a couple of things about how you first got interested in the music career. But what age did you start performing and entertaining for music?
So, as far as talent shows, I'd say back in grade school. Um, but once I got into like just a real music, I'd say probably 17, 18 years old.
Okay, so
We were
mid
actually kind of going out.
legal teenage year.
Yeah.
I'm curious a little bit with your bio, because there's a lot of people that you mentioned and who kind of started and jump started your career as well. First, I'm so curious. Did you ever do bungee or skydiving?
I did. No, yeah, I did.
Okay,
So I've had
that's why it's in
40
your bio. Okay,
skydives.
so that was something
Yeah.
where it was like maybe you being adventurous.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done 40 skydives, quite a few bungee
40?
jumps to count, but
How do you skydive 40 times?
yeah. Yeah.
Actually, how? That's so scary. Oh my gosh.
So it's funny, when to me my life is just going super speed constantly. Like I never feel like I slow down. And those
Okay.
types of funny things, and this does make me sound crazy, and I've learned to be okay with that. But those types of things, like the bungee jumping, the skydiving, those are more like calming things for me to do.
Okay.
If
All
that can
right.
even make
Maybe you're
sense.
just like being pulled 10,000 directions.
Right. And that's kind of just my like letting go moments. So I think that's why I've done them quite a few times. But
Well, nobody can
it's
reach you when you're in the air, so that's also free time for you.
it is. I didn't think of it that
Because
way.
you're free falling, literally. But I wanted to know, kind of in the introductory scene for yourself, Brian Cole. He was somebody that had kind of reached out to you, and you got a chance to work with him and Doug Casper. I don't know if you could tell me a little bit about some of the people you worked with in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the recording has been one of my favorite parts of this whole journey. I love being on stage by all means and being with a crowd and stuff, but there's just something about being in the studio, being able to be creative with like-minded people that are very talented. When I met Brian and Doug, it was kind of it was a turning point in my career. At the time, we didn't really know it until we started working together, but when we all sat down and decided, hey, this is something that we can all do together, I think that we're a good fit.
Okay.
Let's make an album. So this was, man, it must have been I know it was over a year it took to get that album complete. And
Okay.
but it was a very, very fun time. It was a time where I got to grow personally with music. It was a lot of finding my own. We always have our own way of writing and our own way of singing and doing covers. But through that time frame, I really learned a lot about how I was as a singer and maybe how my own personality should be coming through a lot differently than maybe I was doing before. So it
Okay.
was definitely a personal journey with recording, that I took to the stage and actually went through to my writing as well. But the guys were great. The musician, his name was Adam. He's amazing. He plays everything. We were talking about that with Carrie, but he
Okay.
literally played every instrument on that album, minus just a couple of them.
I see.
And
Yeah.
so all the talent that we surrounded ourselves with in that room when we were putting this album together was just astonishing. Every
Now,
single
this
song except
which album was this that we're speaking of? Is this
Never Say Never.
okay? This is okay, perfect. And this came
Yeah.
out what year?
2019.
Okay.
Technically 2020. 2019 we put our first single out, so the album was released in 2020.
And what was the theme behind this album when it was first released? What were you kind of going with your, I want to say your crew band type of thing?
Really, it was just kind of my my entryway. I wanted to say, this is who Ashley Puckett is, because this was our mainstream. This was our chance, to come out and say, this is me. Let's see where we can take this and run with it. And I wanted, personally, I love to sing ballads and love songs and love stories.
Okay.
So
Well, that too.
in Ashley's perfect world, in my perfect world, I would record an album with just all love songs, all slow ballads that make you feel good, and some sad ones in between. But
Of course. Unfortunately, we need to have those sad moments though, because they just shake us back up in life when we get all carried away with something, where it's just like, okay, all right, that breakup's done. I got to get back to life.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to have all the emotional songs. I know me personally, when I'm in different moods or going through different things, I like to rely on music, even if I'm not singing about it, just listening to it. So I like being able to contribute to those songs, so Never Say Never, the album, we have everything from, a honky tonk cheating song, somebody cheating on this girl. And we have let's have some fun. We have one called Reckless, which is more of a let your hair down. Let's just get reckless tonight and go have fun. We have Weightless, which is a very beautiful, like a wedding type song about falling in love. It's like a fairy tale.
Okay, that's beautiful. Yeah, so you have a different type of theme that you were putting regardless on the album with each type of track. Like a story behind each one.
Yeah, and it was one of the fun parts about the track too, maybe little details that people don't think about, is actually the order of the songs to be played. That was one to me that I like to pay attention to, just because some of my favorite albums, and I know we don't really do albums anymore, but when you stick an album in and you just hit play, I hated skipping songs. We've all had that moment that there's just one or two that you just don't want to hear, maybe now or ever.
I feel bad doing that to artists sometimes.
I do. But there was, and I learned this back growing up. My mom is a huge Sugarland fan, so I became a huge Sugarland fan.
Okay.
And we would put the albums in, and
I love that.
Right? Every single album though, you press play and you can go through a musical journey. You don't have to skip a song. You're feeling it, the roller coaster highs and lows until the end of the album. And sometimes we let the album play over again.
Singing in your room screaming because you just want to sing along.
Right. I mean, it was just the way they laid out them songs and the order of the emotional roller coaster that they took you on was kind of something that I wanted to do as well. So I wanted, we actually started the album with a song called Magic of the Moment, which was really fun and uplifting. And it kind of took you down to where the ballads came in kind of slowly, and then you were up again and then down again. And that was a really fun one for me, just to see, I wanted to recreate that same feeling that I felt as a listener when I put Sugarland on.
Okay. I like that. I like that so much. Now, with your one track Medicine, when did that come out?
Medicine was released the end of 2019. So that was basically our debut. That was the first one out there after the album was done. That was our, way of getting on the radio. We had our first mention in Billboard after Medicine.
That was a catchy track. And what was it kind of about? Like, why was it called Medicine?
So Medicine, I chose that one for the album because it was a very raw, simple country song. And it let me kind of shine with vocals.
Okay.
And it was just very simple because a lot of my music that I write is very, very simple. And so that kind of out the gate let me be myself in a way. So like, hey, this is Ashley Puckett. She's new right now everywhere, even though she's been doing this her whole life. But now that we're going mainstream, here she is. And I wanted that to be a song that was portraying me correctly. And I think we did that. Yeah. And it was just again, it's a love song. It's a ballad. And, baby, you're my medicine. You're the one that, fixes everything type song.
Oh, I love that. So is it kind of like a love song for listeners that get a chance to listen to it? Is it like a love hate? Like,
it is. Really? No. Love.
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 I really like that.
Yeah. It's actually, and it, you know what? I have a parrot, and I actually sing that song to him. It's almost, it could be a lullaby too. So it could be a lover song and it could be a lullaby, I think.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Just the melody. That. So catchy.
What type of parrot do you have?
He's an eclectus parrot.
Okay. Is he, does he talk back? Is he that type of parrot? Does he talk?
He does talk. He's very shy. He's only 3, which technically is adult years.
Okay.
But he's still very young, and I catch him on my little camera I have by his cage. So I can catch him having full-blown conversations with himself. But when I'm in the room...
Oh my gosh, he's like a full-blown stage comedian in your own house.
Oh, it's hilarious. But we watch a lot of Impractical Jokers, and he likes to laugh, so he will laugh with you in the room, and he'll say hello. But
I love that. That's amazing. That's actually that's cute. That's really cute. That's like your little side note of, being a musician. You have a parrot and you get a chance to just have time alone with your parrot and laugh and have a good time.
Oh yeah. He says I love you, but he won't say it to me. He says it by himself. So he has some pretty cool
He says it to himself, basically. He has his own confidence level up.
He'd be sitting right here on my shoulder, but I didn't trust him today. He was a little bit wound up.
Okay. I don't want him to curse on the show. I think you're good.
He would be too afraid. He'd just be trying to figure out what's going on. What is that on the screen?
Or he would try to steal the whole conversation and just put his wings in front of the camera, and then you're completely out.
I'm sure something like that.
So a little bit before we get started, I want to talk about Bulletproof because I know that was previously another release that you just did in 2020, and you did it in was it your birthday month as well?
Yes.
January?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So your birthday is January 9th.
The 9th. That's correct.
January 9th. Okay. So for that release, when you had gotten a chance to release it on your birthday, how did that feel? I mean, getting a song that's released on your birthday, even though it is your birthday, probably feels like a huge honor, for that release date because you guys planned it or tried to get it for that day.
It was. So I've tried to, a lot of my releases, I tried to set kind of on specific days. So when we did the album release, we actually did it on Valentine's Day of 2020.
Okay.
So that was planned. As far as the birthday release, I don't know how that kind of came about, but it was just kind of good timing. So we're like, okay, the night sounds good.
Yeah.
And and the interesting thing about that, we released it on my birthday, and that was our number one song. That one went to number one on New Music Weekly. So it was kind of cool. So like, maybe I should do a few more on my birthday months.
You never know. I mean, every year you have one, right? So you could definitely release or plan for a release on that day. How did Bulletproof go with the charts? How was it? Did it feel like it was going for your fan base when you released it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this one got to show a little bit more of my fun personality.
Okay.
It's a little bit different than my typical, ballad love songs. So this one was more, it catered more to a lot of country fans. That way, whether you liked rock country, medium country, or even the ballads, you kind of liked Bulletproof because you had a little bit of everything in there. And it was a very fun song. I think everyone could relate to it in one way or the other. I think that helped a lot too. It talks, for those who haven't heard it, it talks a lot about just being, how men just try to be their macho men, right? And they're perfect. They're trying to be there for everyone, and they're always perfect men. And it's kind of just like, we get to let our hair down. You guys, sometimes you just need to calm down. You don't have to be so bulletproof. Just be open. And it was kind of one of those songs. So I think everyone related to it. But it was just a very fun song to play too. Whether you're just in your car, at a party, sit by a bonfire, it was just a very fun song. So I think we got a lot of attention on that one, which is, I think that's why it made a number one song.
Well, congratulations. That's amazing. That it made number one. I feel like another huge thing is, get the opportunity to hang out with your girlfriends and you can blast the song, or it might start the party, just put that music on. Like, I'm sure you're on Spotify, other, streaming platforms as well. So anybody can kind of get a chance to listen and see. Now, I know with Bulletproof, that was previously 2020 it was released. Do we have any upcoming releases for you?
We do. So Tequila, I said, was one of my babies. We released that 2 Octobers from now. So that was our last one. So we're due for another. I have a song.
Was 2022?
2022.
Okay.
So we are working on a new release now. I wrote this song on my 30th birthday, so it's already a little bit older to me, and I'm itching to get it out because nobody. I've sang it here and there at a couple shows. So if you were lucky enough to be at a show or two, it is out there. But I think there's some videos floating around on it. But the song is called Anchor.
Okay.
And I wrote it when I was on a birthday vacation for my 30th in Florida. I get a lot of my inspiration by the ocean. The older I get, I think I was probably supposed to be born an island girl. But here I am up in cold Pennsylvania.
Well, you have the mermaid waves, so it's definitely giving me the vibe that maybe you should be in the water as well.
Yeah.
We have a mermaid on the show,
But I wrote this song, and it's I'm super excited. I don't want to give it away too much, but we've been talking about the release date on this one and trying to get it out there, so it's going to be very soon. Probably in the next couple months. I'm going to imagine.
Is there some, like, angst in this song? Because I feel like when you hear Anchor, It sounds like it'd be like angst, or it could be more of like, I want to say love-hate relationship, but maybe like some like fire back type of energy.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very like I said, when I write, it will be a 100% Ashley written song. I mean, um it's a love song. It's a smooth, very intimate type feeling when you're listening to it. But what it really is, it's talking about, you know, some women and men too, but it was coming from obviously my perspective. Sometimes we give and give and give, and we listen to everything, and we don't always have that opportunity to be the one, sitting there talking. Sometimes we just want to talk. We just want to be the one that has a listener. So
Right.
we're always carrying so much. And, the song's more or less saying, I want to be your anchor. I want to be the one that you come to, when you feel like you're not perfect, when you feel like you have these flaws, and and it ties into a relationship. So we can't move forward in a relationship, or we're not taking it where it needs to go at the right
Correct.
time, or you know and it's because of all these made up things in your mind, because that's what humans do, right? We make excuses for everything, and we try to make, well, this is the right time for this, or when this happens, then this is going to be better. And it's more or less saying, just take all that away, because you really don't have a flaw. It's all in your head, So I'll be your anchor here if you let me. Um, but until then, you have to get past it yourself. But I'll be here for you while you're
That
working
sounds like
through it.
a beautiful song. I can't wait for the release. Are we looking mid this year? Like next year? Like
Oh,
what?
definitely this year. Definitely this
Definitely
year.
this year. Are we
Yeah,
doing
I'm really
summer,
pushing to do it soon.
summer,
What's that?
spring, summer, fall, winter? Which one?
Probably spring. Like, I mean, I'm talking maybe even, a month or so from now. I mean,
Okay.
we've really been pushing to get it out soon. We've been talking about it. So
All right. Well, that's exciting. I mean, that's beautiful in general. I'm super excited for you because that song, well, all your songs obviously have different feels for it, but that song definitely feels like whether or not it is going to be smooth, it'll be like smooth sailing, that it just seems like it'll go perfect with like any situation that anyone's going through. And that's a huge type of thing with musicians, right? We all get the opportunity to interact with your music. Us being fans, listeners, viewers, friends, family, you get the opportunity where you're just listening to a new independent artist, and you get the opportunity to be like, wow, she's got, pretty amazing vocals that you never knew that somebody had. It's kind of the most beautiful thing, So I just want to give you this opportunity, Ashley, if you can give out your social media, where people can find you and where we can listen to, some of your upcoming music, whether it's your releases or previous music you have released as well.
yeah, so you can find me anywhere on social media. My website is ashleypuckett.com. So all of my touring information and upcoming shows and stuff will be on there. We do have one coming up for anyone in the Pennsylvania area, in Wexford, or Warrendale, Wexford, opening for Jay Allen. So I'm excited. If you want to see that show, there's still tickets.
Okay.
Other than that, Facebook, I'm more heavy on Facebook than I am on any of the other social paths. So if you want to see everything for the first time, Facebook is where you want to be. Otherwise, Instagram, both at Ashley Puckett Music. Twitter is
And
Ashley
Puckett is
P.
with two
Puckett.
T's, correct?
Two
Puckett.
T's.
I like
Two
that. It's kind
T's.
of, I mean, I know that's your name. You're born with it, but I also feel like it has some emphasis on Puckett. And it works as a country artist for some like strange
It
reason.
does. It's funny because, like, growing up, I always wanted to change my country stage name, and
Yeah,
not till
what
I.
were you like leaning between a couple of names that was like in the beginning where you were like, if I did change it, I wanted to do like.
I don't think I ever got that far. I just knew I didn't want it to be Puckett. And then the older I
Okay.
got, I started to realize that, there's even I don't know if it's a breakfast place or a bar. There is a Puckett something in Nashville, that I
Okay.
have to go to. I learned it too late, but I've never been there yet. But
Oh, so you never got a chance to kind of explore it yet.
no, and but I know it exists, and I'm like, yeah, everyone says it is Puckett is a very country name, and it's my name, so I don't know why I want to change it. So I did grow out of that stage, but it's funny that
Well,
you
I love
said
that.
that.
Now, I'm curious. We talked a little bit about your upcoming music, kind of things that you're working on, and everything like that. We did talk about the inspirations you love and who you like to maybe perform one day. But who would you actually like to open up for you? as a musician? Like just a big daydream situation. Who would you looking down the line and be like, I want that person to open up for me?
So I've never thought of it that way. I've always thought of who I'd like to open with or do a tour with, and that
Yeah,
was
but we
always
want to make you
Miranda
the
or
person here. Exactly. Because that's the type
yeah.
of person that you want to be as a musician. You want to grow. You want to learn, your skills and everything. So you want to manifest you being the top artist. Who would you want to open for you?
Yeah, you know what? I think it would have to be. I know with opening, I really love the shows because I've been doing a lot of them. When they have an opener do a real acoustic, intimate set into mine. So I think I would gravitate toward some of the more smoother, intimate performers. Miranda, I don't think would be a good one. I think I'd have to have her come out later and we would do some duets or something.
You're
we
part
do
of
have
it
to close the
beginning.
show. Little Big Town, I think would be a fun one. With some of their music to be an opening for, just doing like some acoustic into a big Ashley Puckett finish. That would be fun, I think, just off the top of my head.
That's huge. See, you never know. Like, you just have to think of those types of questions and then just sit on them and be like, if this was to happen, Little Big Town. And the reason why is because they're just kind of similar to you. I mean, they have like a whole group, but it would also be fun to get a chance to like sing with them, like
oh, absolutely.
Or something.
Yeah, I love their duets and their vocals together. So I think that would be a lot of fun.
It's like I want to say it's like pentatonics almost. Just like exact, except for it's just not like, exactly like pentatonics. It's just the group type of music. But it's pretty amazing. Now, also, how did you get a chance to work with Michael Stover? He gave us the opportunity to have you on the show today. So we just want to give him a shout out as well for that.
No, I've been very thankful for him to be in my life. So yes, thank you, Michael, if you're listening. So I met Hip through Brian and Doug after the studio. We kind of immediately started talking. And when he, heard my music and my story, and once we got connected, it was kind of, he was really interested in working with me. And I just thought that was the coolest thing because the timing was perfect. It was right after the album was done. So we had a route to, to releasing it, a single and then doing the album release. And he helped with literally everything. I wouldn't have the kind of career I have in music right now without him because, he did, I'm a busy person as it is, and he just takes care of everything. He has all the right contacts, all the right people. He's able to just, he hooks me up with, obviously I'm talking to you right now, and that wouldn't have happened because of him or without him. And, even the Jay Allen show, I opened for Mark Chestnut, and he was one of my, I was a huge fan. I'm still a huge fan. And, all those types of things, even the mention in Billboard magazine, all the Maverick magazines we've been in, there's countless amounts of things that I can go on as far as accolades that are, even the Emerging Artist Award through the ISSA that I won, all because of him, helping me get to where I'm at now. So I'm really thankful. And so he deserves the shout out.
Yeah, no, definitely. I want to say thank you to him because he gave us the opportunity to have you. And as you were saying, you are a busy, musician, artist. I'm sure you always have your calendar booked or you're skydiving. And it's pretty nice that we got a chance to get to know you today on the Dani Perro Show. We definitely do love your music. So any of your new tracks, when you do get them as well, Michael can send them over to Christopher and we will gladly play them on Hamilton Radio, which is the station you're on today. My father's, and we're excited to just play your existing tracks. And if you're ever around the New Jersey area, we do give you the opportunity to come do an interview in studio if you're ever around. So you get that option as well. Because we need to meet in person. Video is just video.
I would love that. We're not far, so.
We aren't, but I don't want to make you drive that far yet, unless you have an opportunity where it's like you have a gig or something closer nearby. And then it's not that bad that you could take that drive. I wouldn't just want to make you drive extremely that far. I mean, even when we spoke to Michael about it, we we wouldn't want to do that to her, so we want to give you that option, but you do have the eligibility to be in the studio next time with us as well. And any releases that you have upcoming, you can send them over to us. We could get you back on the show if you have another album release. Just reach out to us. We're an email away, and we appreciate your time for being here with us today on the show.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time with me, and Anchor will be out soon, so we'll get that to you, and I hope you really like it. And I'll definitely be in for a studio visit whenever you're ready for me.
And I'm excited to see if you make any TikToks of you and your bird, because I'm sure that will go viral too. You see all the bird videos? There's like thousands. You should be a part of that.
His name is Captain Morgan, so I thought it would be funny just to make it right.
What
to
color
make his
is
own profile. He's green.
Oh, that is adorable. Oh, I love it.
He's like a yellow bottom tail. When he spreads his wings, he has this beautiful deep purple and then some light blue, like bluer than the ocean, like really baby blue, and some reds under his wings. So yeah, he's a handful, but he's beautiful.
Okay, you have to send us a picture when you get a chance. Maybe you and him, obviously. But
Okay.
I just want to thank you again for being here today. Again, we're just a phone call, email away if you need us or Chris. And we'd love to have you back on the show again. We wish you so much luck. Can't wait for your new releases. And thank you again.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great night, everyone. Make sure you guys tune in every Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:30 to find out who our guests are. Thank you, everyone.